Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it?
Dude, are we at war with Venezuela?
We're close. I do have some stuff on Venezuela for tonight, but it's towards the bottom of the show. But no, I'll say this to not build any suspense for later. Nothing really new. It looks like we're going to do something with Venezuela, but who knows when? Like we're about at the same spot. We're moving in more forces. So get ready. In fact, let's go ahead and cover Venezuela real quick. It's going to be quick. Yeah. But we're moving in a new aircraft carrier. I think it's the Gerald Ford. It's our most advanced aircraft carrier. We're moving that from the Middle East to the Caribbean. I feel like it was probably needed in the Middle East, but cool. Anyhow, it's kind of a show of force. People are saying it's an escalatory move. What's killing me about this, we've managed to take like two of our worst foreign policy failures ever, like the Iraq War, like an occupation, and then the war on drugs, and we're combining them into one thing, which is Venezuela. So, also, we've blown up now, oh God, I think it's 4 or 5 boats in the Pacific now. Boats that are coming, I guess, from Mexico and running up the Pacific to California. So there's Hegseth has been releasing videos of that, but yeah, we're blowing up boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific now. So
yeah, I mean, whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty?
You know, you don't have to, if you're a terrorist, you don't have any rights. And that's why when we talked about this weeks ago, but like if you just throw the word terrorist on them and say, they're terrorists now, like you can do whatever you want. So these are narco terrorists. And here's the thing, some of these boats, in fact, I have no clue. Maybe most or all of these boats, all but one of these boats, could be drug boats. They really could be. Like
maybe
we know for sure now that the one boat had its distress signal up and was sitting in the middle of the ocean. Could have been a drug boat, but it was disabled and its engine wasn't working. It was just sitting there. We know there was another boat where there were 2 survivors, and we released the survivors to their home country.
So we released a narco terrorist that we tried to kill.
Makes no sense. No. And then the very first boat, which had like, what was it, like 11 people on board? That's the one for sure that I'm like, that's not a drug boat. Like you don't have 11 people on a drug boat for weight reasons. So,
so we're moving our warships into the Caribbean, and Putin is bringing his warships closer to us.
I haven't even seen what Putin's doing recently. Is he moving ships closer to us?
Yeah, apparently he's been pointing his nukes towards us.
I know they're doing some kind of a nuclear test, which I guess we asked them not to do, and they basically said, screw you, we're doing it. I saw that like today. I don't know anything about them having ships.
Yeah, he was moving his nuclear ships into, like, pointing them at us anyway.
Pointing the ships at us or the missiles? If the ships are on the other side of the world, but they're pointed at us, I'm not scared.
Boast about nuclear power missiles, Trump moves nuclear subs negotiating tactic. The U.S. attack submarines might have moved into Norwegian Sea close to the Russian northern submarine base at Murmansk and Kola.
So we did that a couple months ago. He's been saying it as many times as he can. He's announcing that we've moved a nuclear attack sub closer to Russia. Kind of that's like his threat to Russia, and they seem to not care. But we did that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick before we move on from Venezuela, I do have a clip here from Fox News. Jennifer Griffin, there are some good reporters at Fox News. Their Pentagon reporter, Jennifer Griffin, is a very good reporter. And here's a quick little minute of her explaining all the assets we have in the Caribbean right now.
Well, John, the Pentagon has been reallocating assets from the Middle East and Pacific, moving warships to the Caribbean since August in what looks like a major military buildup for what many fear is an undeclared war. Just moments ago, the Pentagon announced that it is sending the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group to the Southern Command region to help with counter-narcotics efforts. The Ford strike group right now is currently in the Mediterranean and will take at least 2 weeks to get there. This is the first time that the U.S. military will not have a carrier in the Middle East. For U.S. Southern Command, this is a massive buildup of force. In fact, 14% of the Navy's fleet is now in the Caribbean, according to IEJ media, including a buildup of 10,000 Marines and sailors, a dozen warships, a U.S. Navy nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, the USS Newport News, a vessel that could be needed elsewhere, a special operations mothership with drone capabilities, and 3 guided missile destroyers, USS Stockdale, Gravely, and Jason Dunham, and the USS Iwo Jima, an assault ship, part of an amphibious ready group. They left Naval Station Norfolk in August. The USS Lake Erie, a guided missile cruiser with 32 Tomahawk missiles, was pulled from the Pacific and is now operating near Puerto Rico, but focused on Venezuela.
What do you think our Navy men think about this? I mean,
I don't know. Trump was speaking to some of I think they were Navy, but I'm not sure. He's in Japan right now, and he was at one of our bases. Yeah, it was the Navy because I will say this: Trump has a thing for like theatrics, and like the whole room was full of soldiers waiting for him, and then like the huge elevators that move like jets from the top deck to the lower deck. Like they lower one of those, and there's like a jet on each side, and Trump in the middle. Like he just appeared. There wasn't smoke, but it was like there should have been smoke behind him. It was like one of those. But yeah, so he was talking to them today. They were cheering for him. So I don't know. Like Jesse said a couple weeks ago, I think a good majority of them are young and ready to go. Like they join the army to fight, and they want to fight. And after they fight for a while, they'll realize, this is not what I want to do. But right now, they haven't done it yet, so they want to do it. You notice she said that they, for the first time, and I'm guessing, I don't want to even guess how many years. Let's say 30 years. We don't have a aircraft carrier anywhere in the Middle East, like at all. Like I think we have 6 aircraft carriers, and we keep them spread out around the globe. So there's always one close by if stuff goes wrong. The Middle East is a place where historically shit goes wrong, like on a regular basis.
Trump fixed it. There's peace in the Middle East now.
I can't wait. What happened to Yemen? Not that I want to keep bombing Yemen, but did we win or did we just give up? I don't think we won. Like we just stopped bombing them. I don't
know.
I don't have any clue what's going on. So what'd she say? We had 14% of our naval forces in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're definitely going to do something. Maduro, the president of Venezuela, claimed, I think it was this morning, that he caught a group of like mercenaries that were being backed by our CIA, and he has them in custody. He also could be full of shit. Like, let's remember that Maduro's not good, and he could have, or maybe he's making it all up. There's no telling. Yeah. Or possibly anybody he picks up that seems like resistance, he's going to claim is backed by the CIA, and maybe he has no evidence. So, just saying, he is claiming that. So things are escalating. Kind of where we're at.
Escalating.
Yeah. So,
no new wars. That's what we ran on.
No, and even Dave Smith, libertarian, friends with Joe Rogan, I agree with 70% of what he says. He went on with Steven Crowder on Steven Crowder's show, I think yesterday, and Steven Crowder did the whole like, well, he ended 8 wars, and Dave Smith kind of stopped him and was like, name the 8 wars. Like, let's talk about this. And he kind of like debunked one by one. Like, it was pretty interesting. So good job on Dave Smith there. Anyhow, that's all I got on Venezuela. I feel like in a couple weeks we're going to be talking a lot about Venezuela. So she said it takes 2 weeks for that aircraft carrier to get from the Middle East to the coast of Venezuela. So let's take the next 2 weeks and not talk about Venezuela because it's going to be coming soon. I have a feeling. Anyhow, and last thing I'm going to say. Yes, Maduro's a bad guy and he's a brutal dictator. All those things are true. There's brutal dictators all around the world that we don't seem to care about at all. This brutal dictator happens to be sitting on the largest oil reserves in all of the Americas. So like,
well, we put brutal dictators in place in certain places.
We do, and we're cool. As long as they're cool with us, we're cool with them. But if anybody thinks that the natural resources, mainly oil in the ground there, don't have a huge part in this, they're crazy. Oh, yeah. Like, that's a big driving factor. If he was just a brutal dictator and he didn't have any oil, we would not give a shit. He's got oil. That makes him interest to us. So
yeah, and he's friends with Russia and China,
he is. A lot of those Southern American countries are, because like when Trump, in the first term, when Trump started pulling back from there, like China slid right in and was like, "Hey, buddy, like you look like you could use some help," and they're more than happy to step in. So we had South America kind of locked down, and except for Cuba we haven't had for a long time. But as we have slowly stepped back, China's taken our spot. we have nobody to be mad at but ourselves. Like we can't be mad at those countries. Like they were getting aid from us for a long time, and suddenly we stopped. They
Yeah.
need that money. China's offering. Here they are. So
Yeah. It's crazy times.
yep. So
Oops.
hey, so do you remember last episode? I think it was we were talking, and you were saying that we need to have like a council, like an advisory council that will pick a doctor, and that doctor will be in charge of seeing if the elected representatives are too old and they're not functioning
Yeah.
well anymore. And you remember what I said would happen to that council?
They would be politicized.
And Trump would fire them instantly.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did you know there's a council and it's called the Fine Arts? Where is it at here? Hold on. It's called the Commission of Fine Arts, and they basically control all the construction and architecture in Washington D.C. So anything new Trump's going to build, he has to go through them. He's been saying that you don't have to go through them to tear anything down, is what he's been saying recently. So like he plans to go through them when he's ready to build the ballroom, but to start tearing stuff down, you don't have to. He's also doing, in France, what's called the Arc de Triomphe. It's like a huge arch that you can like drive under.
I don't see it.
Okay, I've been there for my honeymoon. I went. I should have pulled up. I'll put a picture in here. But he wants to build one of those too, somewhere in D.C. Basically, a straight ripoff of the one in Paris. But he would have to go through the Commission on Fine Arts for both of these projects. Earlier today, Trump fired the entire Commission on Fine Arts. Every sitting member of that commission was let go today. They're currently
Yeah, apparently there's a organization called like the Historic Preservation.
so.
Is that this part of the same program
From what
or?
I understand, the Commission on Fine Arts would then consult with the historic whatever, but
Mhm.
like he would go to them and then they work it all out and let him know what he can do, what he can't do. He fired all of them. He's been saying for like the last couple of weeks since he started demolishing the East Wing that, oh no, we're going to go through them. Like we just, we don't have to talk to him to tear stuff down. It's just when it comes to building something new, so we're doing it. And then he fired them all today. So
He's
anytime
never going to leave. Why would you build this for the next president?
I don't know. And there was a report that they said he was going to name the ballroom after himself, and he came out
Yeah.
the other day and he goes, "I wasn't even thinking about that. I mean, people are saying I should," and like it's one of those where it's like he's definitely going to do it. Like I
Yeah.
don't care what he says right now. We've all seen this game before.
So he's spending $350 million on a ballroom that
Which-
he's probably never going to get to use, and presidents after him are going to get to use it like what, 6, 8 times a year.
I don't even know how many times a year you would use it. Like, yeah, in my mind, you would use it when you have like state dinners, which is a handful of times a year. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Trump will find a reason to use it. Like, if he's
Every
here
day.
when it's ready, he'll use it weekly. I have a feeling.
Oh my
Kind of
gosh.
anyhow. But he fired them. They're gone. So now I think he can do whatever he wants to do. But
course.
stick along that same theme of our politicians that are too old. Have you ever heard of Eleanor Holmes Norton? She is a Democratic representative for Washington D.C.
No.
You're gonna love this. I told you
Oh.
last time that Dems are worse than Republicans when it comes to like dying in office and holding on too long.
Uh-huh.
I think we've had I think it's like 15 to 17 Democratic representatives die in office in the last like 2 to 3 years. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
We need this doctor council.
Yeah, we need something. It's our fault. It's the voters' fault. I'm going to tell you that right now. We keep voting these old people in, but
Well, no, it's the Democrats' fault. Hold on, it's the Democrats' fault because they won't allow anybody else to come up and take their position when they need to be taken.
I
Like
think
they're-
that here's the thing: the establishment is always going to protect its members. Like the Tea Party, the Republicans did back in like 2010 to 2012. Like the establishment was trying to fight them off, and they took it. Zoran Mamdani up in New York right now. Like the establishment did not want him. Like somebody needs to challenge the seat. Like the establishment, like Hakeem Jeffries is always going to have the sitting members back if somebody's trying to primary them. That's same on both sides. So
Yeah, but without the backing of the Democratic Party, it's hard to run, right? It's
Yeah,
hard
and
to get the
I'm just saying-
donations to put up a good candidate and
you have to be
fight the system.
you have to be grassroots funded. So, but
Yeah.
anyhow, Eleanor Holmes Norton is 88 years old. She is the Democratic representative for Washington, D.C. She was recently scammed out of $4,400. There's a police report because somebody called the police when they realized she'd been scammed. The police report is now public information, and the police report states that she is suffering from dementia. And that's part of the reason she got scammed. She's actively a congressman. She's voting on things. Well, I guess she hasn't been since, July 4th because Mike Johnson hasn't let him in. But she's an active representative. She announced just a couple weeks ago that she's seeking re-election in 2026.
What?
And if it wasn't for her getting scammed and this police report coming out, we would have no idea that she has dementia.
Whoa. The average age for members of the 119th Congress is approximately 58 years old.
Yeah, there's a handful in their 80s and 90s. So
64 for the Senate.
Yeah. Anyhow,
so the average member is 64 years old.
In the Senate. What was it in the House again? Would you say 50 what?
Senate, it's 57.9 for the House.
I have no problem with 50 to 60-year-olds as our elected. Like, that's good. They've lived a good life. They've learned a lot of things. They have some wisdom. That's good. Yeah, nobody in their 50s, not nobody, but most people in their 50s aren't starting to like lose their marbles and like not function well. It's once you cross into like 70 that's where problems start to arise after 70, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh. Members of Congress by age.
Chuck Grassley's the oldest at 92, or he's in the Senate.
He's 90. Is Chuck 90?
He is 92 now. This might be an old list you're looking at. He's 92 now.
Okay. Republican Utah overtaking the record. This is insane. Dianne Feinstein, she died.
Yeah, that one's old then.
Okay, yeah. But seriously, this is crazy. How many?
So they asked Jeffries today during his little speech at the podium about this Eleanor Holmes Norton and her having dementia. You're going to love his answer. It's not going to make you feel good about anything, but let's check this out real quick. All right, pull up Jeffries Norton.
Oh, gosh. Jim Jeffries is such a tool bag.
Hakeem Jeffries. Jim Jeffries is a comedian.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Do you believe Eleanor Holmes Norton should retire given mounting concerns over her mental fitness or office?
I have not had a recent conversation with Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton. Obviously, she's had a legendary career. Ultimately, it's going to be her decision and the people of the District of Columbia to make that decision as to who's best positioned to represent their interests moving forward. Thanks.
The correct answer,
non-answer.
The correct answer is that he should call for her to not seek re-election or possibly step down now. Like, she has dementia. This isn't a hard one. Like, this isn't. She's done a lot. She's had a storied career. Blah 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 blah. I don't think she should seek re-election. That's all. That's an easy answer. It's a softball, and he messed it up. And here's the thing. I don't think this is a left or right thing. I think Republicans would do the same thing and protect their people. It's bullshit, though.
I mean, what's his name took a fall the other day?
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell took a. Yeah, we covered that, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, I got the video on there.
Oh, my gosh.
But the one thing Jeffrey said is true is that he said it's up to her, which I feel like this is one of those where the people around her need to have that conversation with her. But he said, and it's up to the people that vote in that district. And like, that's true. That's true. This is partially our fault. Biden got elected at 78 or 79, one or the other, I can't remember, in 2020.
Yep.
Trump just got elected. Oh, he was 78 and a half when he got elected. Like, why? We got to stop doing this. And people say, well, like, both of our options were old. No, the options were old because we didn't show up to vote in the primaries. Like, we got to start taking voting seriously.
Kamala wasn't old.
She wasn't old, but she was a socialist, and obviously we can't have that. even though Trump is now taking 10% ownership and all kinds of different, like, it's hysterical that some of the things Trump is doing is like exactly socialism, but Republicans are like, yeah, and I'm like, wait, hold on, like,
didn't you?
You guys were very
screamed socialist from the top of your lungs during the last 4 elections.
Say,
I think Obama was a socialist too, wasn't he?
Yeah, we're about exactly 12 months ago from today was a week before the election, and socialism was a big thing. Republicans were scared to death that America was going to turn socialist. Trump has done a number of things that you could easily call socialism, and they're all just like, yay, and okay. Anyhow, speaking of old age Trump, though, while he was in Japan, I had to pull this video. You remember when Biden clearly did this, but Biden used to finish interviews and then get up, and Shane Gillis would say he was like a Roomba. He'd get up and just kind of start walking. Like we'd walk off camera this way, then walk back across like he didn't know where he was going. They called it Roomba Biden. We got to see our first taste of Roomba Trump. I'm going to defend him a little bit here, okay? This is a funny video, but he was in Japan, and the new I don't know she's not the president of Japan, but whatever they call it in Japan. It's a female, their first female ever. And she's trying to guide him through like a ceremonial thing where he's supposed to walk down and stop and bow to the troops here and then walk down and do the. And
he has to bow to other troops.
I don't know if it was bow. He was salute, bow, whatever it was. She was trying to guide him. She was trying to guide him to do things. And like, he doesn't speak Japanese. I'm sure she was trying to speak English, but it was probably broken English. There's a part of me that sympathizes for him here because I could see myself in a foreign country where nobody's speaking the language. And I'm like, I don't know where you're trying to get me to go. So I'm going to throw that out there now. That being said, this is a lot like a Biden clip.
I take it he wasn't supposed to walk all the way around the room.
He was supposed to stop, and they were supposed to do something where the flags were, and then they were supposed to go down and stop again. I almost blame his people more for that. Like if there was supposed to be a ceremonial thing where he was going to walk and do, somebody should have briefed him and said, "Hey, sir, you're going to walk to here. You're going to stop." Maybe they tried. Maybe he didn't care. Again,
he probably fired his Japanese translator.
He probably did. But anyhow. All the people that were talking about Biden wandering around looking old and like he didn't know what he was doing, that video of Trump was very Biden-ish, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, Trump went to the doctor last week. Turns out he got an MRI. Like, remember this was the one where he went and it had only been 6 months since his last checkup, and he's supposed to go yearly. Again, he's an old guy. I got no problem with going every 6 months. Sure. But it turned out he got an MRI, and we found this out. They didn't say this at first, and then Carolyn Levitt, I think, might have said it, but somebody said that they were waiting on advanced imaging or something about imaging. And that a lot of reporters' ears perked up. And they were, hold on, wait, imaging? Like, you don't normally get imaging at a standard physical. What's going on here? The White House kind of deflected for a couple of days. Then they finally had to answer and say he got an MRI. An MRI for what? We don't know.
We will never know.
How did the MRI go, though? What were the results? Can you guess?
Fantastic. Wonderful.
Perfect.
Perfect.
It was a perfect MRI. Perfect.
You mean the technician was perfect?
Nope. The results were perfect.
The results were perfect. Okay.
Let's let Trump tell us about his MRI real quick.
The readout from Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI. And in the machine, the whole thing. Yeah. And it was perfect, yeah.
Can you say what in particular they were?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively. I wouldn't run, I'd do something, but the doctor said some of the best reports for the age, some of the best reports they've ever seen.
I wouldn't run.
He wouldn't run. He wouldn't run. He wouldn't have run for election this time, or he won't run for re-election, I'm guessing. He doesn't run like jogging, so he's talking about running for office. A couple of things there. He said it was perfect twice. The MRI was perfect. Okay. He said he gave us the full results. Okay, I'm gonna just bullshit there. Back before Trump, we used to find out like that they would after the president's yearly physical, they would come out and say like his cholesterol is this, his blood pressure is this. Like they'd give you numbers about how the president was doing. That all stopped. That all stopped with Trump the first time. They asked him what the MRI was for, and he said that's when he said, "Oh well, we gave you all the info." And it's like, no, we have no clue what the MRI was for. That's interesting. So they went back and looked and. Apparently, they believe, I don't know if we know this for sure, but they believe he got an MRI 6 months ago. Okay. So all the news places are bringing on cardiologists and doctors, and why would he be getting an MRI every 6 months? Well, one doctor I watched, and this has been echoed by a lot of doctors, 6 month MRIs are used to monitor severe progression of Alzheimer's or vascular dementia. I don't know what vascular dementia is. I'm guessing it's like regular dementia. It has something to do with blood flow to the brain, I'm guessing.
Blood flow, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you would do an MRI every 6 months for. There is also an MRI. You would do a 3 month MRI checkup if it was a stroke. But we don't know of him getting one 3 months ago. So, and it could be something else. There's a solid chance that he's old and his hip is hurting or his knee is hurting. And they said, maybe an MRI would, let's take a look. Let's do an MRI and see what's going on with your knee. Like that could be the case. Like that's why if it was his knee, he should have said that. The fact that he doesn't say that, now we get to speculate and say, oh, is it dementia? What was it? Vascular dementia or severe progression of Alzheimer's is what doctors are saying. That's why you would get one every 6 months. If he goes back in 6 more months and gets another one, that's a bad sign for where his brain's at right now.
Well, it makes sense that he's just focusing on the ballroom at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is, Trump says crazy shit, and he has for 20 years that I can remember. Like my first memories of Trump saying stupid shit is like around 2010 when Obama got elected and he was doing the whole like, oh, I've got investigators in Hawaii right now and they're finding out all kinds of great things about where Obama was born and saying he was born in Kenya. That he used to randomly tweet at like actresses. I remember he used to tweet at the actress Kristen Stewart. What's that her name? The girl from the vampire movies. I never watched any of those movies. Anyhow, she was dating Robert Pattinson, and he used to tweet at her about how Robert Pattinson should break up with her or something like that. Point is, he's been saying dumb shit online for a long time. So like, if he starts to lose his mind, how do we know? Like,
well, he's gotten slower since he's become president. He's gotten a lot slower. Like, and that's only been 6 months or 9 months, whatever it's been now.
Here's the thing. I will defend him a little bit on that because and I'm just trying to remain consistent with Biden when he was president. I said that a lot to people. I was like, oh, he's 80 now. Like, of course he's going to be a little slower. So I would say that all the time in defense of Biden is, I mean, as you get older, I mean, it's still working good up top. He's just slower now. I was wrong.
That's the Republican in you. I say Trump's getting slower. You say, well, but Biden was so slower.
I'm just trying to remain consistent. Me and you both defended.
We both talked about Biden getting slow.
Oh, we talked about him getting slow, but we maintained that he was still doing good. He still had a good brain. He's just a little slower now because he's old. That's what we said. So
did Trump ever have a good brain?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is like, how will we know? Like, here's something he tweeted the other day that if any other president tweeted this, it would have been alarming. But because it's Trump, like it's kind of the same old shit he's been tweeting for a while.
Just in, documents show conclusively that Christopher Wray, deranged Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and other crooked lowlifes from the failed Biden administration signed off an Operation Arctic Frost. They spied on senators and congressmen and women, and even taped their calls. They cheated and rigged the 2020 presidential election. These radical left lunatics should be prosecuted for their illegal and highly unethical behavior. Whoa.
Now, there's several problems with this, but Jack Smith was in The Hog over in Europe in 2020. Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and all the other people from the Biden administration were not in power for the 2020 election. Donald Trump was the president. His people were in the FBI, the Attorney General, the DOJ, and he tweets here saying that they were all in power and rigged the 2020 election against him. Like, if a normal...
I think he's telling on himself.
Maybe, but if a normal president tweeted that right there, we'd all start asking questions. We'd be like, hey, is he doing okay? Like,
Right.
does he not realize that he was president then? But because it's Trump, that just comes and goes, and we're all just like, oh, look, Trump, idiot. They weren't in, he was in charge then, but people just move on.
Yeah.
This is my example. When he starts to really lose his mind, we're all gonna miss it for months to a year, where we're just not gonna realize it because he's been saying shit, and we just go, that's inaccurate. Moving on, and we blow right by it.
Trump.
It's crazy Trump. It's really scary. Anyhow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
So
our politicians are all too old.
Yes, they are.
Today, I'm going to get your hopes up, then I'm going to crush them. Today, 5 Senate Republicans joined with the Dems to rebuke Trump's tariffs on Brazil. It was 52-48 vote. They said that Trump's tariffs, he's got like a 50% tariff on Brazil, mainly affecting our coffee. But they voted no, he can't do that. The Congress holds the purse. Good job. The 5 that crossed the lines were Rand Paul, Tom Tillis, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and good old Mitch McConnell.
Mitchie.
Yeah. So that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Bad news. They passed the Senate. Now it has to go to the House for a vote. Mike Johnson has already said this ain't going to the floor. So it's a symbolic vote. Apparently, they're going to vote on several other the tariffs in the next week. The Canadian tariffs is one of them. They can vote all they want in the Senate, and it's like a little for show vote. But like Mike Johnson's never going to do anything about it in the House, so nothing's going to happen. In fact, part of the rules when Mike Johnson became Speaker, he made it to where no random member of the House can force a vote to the floor. He's the only person that can control that. Now,
you're talking Grinder Mike Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene could do a vote of no confidence and have him removed as Speaker, and then the new Speaker could agree to bring it to the floor. I don't know that's going to happen, but it could happen.
Yeah, let's get him out of here. That guy is a nightmare.
I think Marge is going to do it. It's notable that 5 Senate Republicans had enough. They said, we're not doing this anymore. These tariffs are stupid, and they voted against Trump. They double-crossed Trump. You know he's going to take that as an insult. Like, he's flying back from Japan right now. This happened this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, there will be tweets about these 5 senators. He's probably going to light them up a little bit. But you got that. In the House, you got Thomas Massie, who's been a thorn in Trump's side. By the way, they're going hardcore after Thomas Massie's seat in Kentucky. Like, they're putting millions into getting him out and primarying him, basically saying he's not a MAGA Republican and this and that. I'll bet he's going to beat it, but who knows? It could be close.
Okay.
In the House, though, you've also got good old Marge. I tell you what, every time Marge's name comes up, I'm agreeing with Marge these days.
I know. It's kind of wild.
So they had a call today, like a conference call with the whole committee, and apparently she was just jumping in periodically, like countering what Mike Johnson was saying and fighting back against what he was saying. Check this tweet out real quick. So Jake Sherman, he actually on Twitter, he covers the House really well. He's nonpartisan, but he's reporting on this call, and he says on the House Republican conference call, Marjorie Taylor Greene just said that she is tired of people listening to the White House political staff. So basically, tired of doing whatever the White House tells us to do. Big right there. Yep. She quote tweets him and says, "You left out that I said I have no respect for the House not being in session, passing our bills, and the president's executive orders. And I demand to know from Speaker Johnson what Republicans' plan for health care is to build an off-ramp to Obamacare and the ACA tax credits to make health insurance affordable for Americans. Johnson said he's got ideas and pages of policy ideas and committees of jurisdiction working on it, but he refuses to give me one policy proposal to our GOP conference on our own conference call. Apparently, I have to go into a skiff to find out the Republican healthcare plan." So she's calling him out all across the board there. They need to get back in session. He keeps saying that they do have a plan, but they're not gonna negotiate while we're in a shutdown. She asked him on this call, what plan do you have? And he said, "Oh, well, I've got people working on it." Trump he'll show us the plan in 2 weeks. How long has that been going on for? Forever.
8 years, 10 years.
But Marjorie, for the past couple months, is not down with what's happening with Republicans. I was going to say with MAGA. She's still making it a point to say she loves Trump and she loves MAGA, but she thinks Trump is getting bad advice and listening to the wrong people. She thinks that she hates Mike Johnson, apparently. So good job,
infighting
Marge.
within the Republican Party. I like it.
Yeah. And then last thing on tariffs, did you see what happened with Canada in the past couple of days?
I did. I
Okay.
saw the commercial.
The commercial, which I wanted to pull clips of Reagan talking about tariffs to prove that he did not love tariffs. Um, if I pull the minute, anybody watching that's suspect of it is going to say, "Oh, well, that's out of context. You pulled the part where he said blah blah." The speech that they pulled those clips from is 5 minutes long, and you can find it on YouTube really easily. Okay, if you think that possibly Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, give 5 minutes and go on YouTube, watch the full speech. It was a radio address to America. He did. I watched it. He never said anything good about tariffs. Trump is rewriting history on this and claiming that Reagan loved tariffs. Check this is just from I think last night getting off a plane somewhere in Asia, but check this out.
I don't know. They cheated on a commercial. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it? Yes.
Reagan tariff ad. Ontario says it's going to hold that Reagan tariff ad come this Monday, but it's airing it during his first two World Series games.
Well, you know, it's a crooked ad. I heard he's airing it. Canada, that's why I pulled everything. With Canada, they did a crooked ad. They knew it was Ronald Reagan loved tariffs. What they did is really dishonest. And I heard they were pulling the ad. I didn't know they were putting it on a little bit more. They could have pulled it tonight.
They're going to pull it Monday.
Well, that's dirty playing. But I can play dirtier than they can, you know? Really, very dishonest.
So my favorite part about that, I can't believe he didn't use the word rigged. He said they cheated multiple times. He called them crooked. I felt like rigged was coming because anything that he doesn't like is cheating or rigged or crooked. Like those are his words he loves to use. But he said that was AI. Ronald Reagan loves tariff, and they use. I'm begging anyone watching this who doesn't know if they believe what I'm saying or not. Go on YouTube. Reagan talked about tariffs a whole bunch.
We'll link.
We got to.
And put a link in the bottom in the description.
Here's what kills me about the modern Republican Party. Republicans, conservatives are against tariffs. Tariffs is a liberal thing. Republicans don't do tariffs. That's one of the many things Trump is doing now that conservatives are just like, yeah, we like tariffs now. And it's like you free market capitalism. Free market. Free trade.
Right.
Like it's so upsetting.
But and I think it was smart of Canada actually to create that ad with Ronald Reagan saying that he doesn't like tariffs and that tariffs were bad for the US economy because like that is the Republican hero.
It really struck a nerve, which it's crazy because Trump is going in the direction of trying to lie and just say, no, he loved tariffs. On Twitter, I'm seeing like influential Republicans that are pointing out that like, yeah, well, Reagan was actually kind of a liberal, blah, blah, blah. So like they're now, some of them are now like pooping on Reagan and saying, well, Reagan wasn't conservative. And it's like, all right, like this is an interesting place the Republican Party is at now. So
that's wild.
Yeah. So we got that going for us. Oh man.
I mean, it's just one crazy thing after another these days. I don't know. I've been so busy lately. Like anytime I pop on the news, I'm just like, oh, he said that and he did that. What?
We've hit the point now. There's too many things. Like you have to pick what you want to focus on because there's just too many. And like I gotta say, I think the ballroom, him destroying the East Wing and making a ball, like that's a distraction. Like don't look at that. There's other more important things. He's already doing that. We're not going to stop him. Quit wasting your time bitching about it. Focus on what he's doing.
But it's the implications of that is like, is he going to really build this ballroom and then leave the White House?
And that's the thing. I put it at 50-50 right now. If he ends up running again in 2020, I will not be shocked at all.
Well, Steve Bannon thinks he's going to be the president in 2020.
I also question because Steve Bannon apparently is kind of on the outs this term. Like he doesn't have the direct line to Trump like he has. Some people are saying that like really the only person running around saying all this is Steve Bannon. Like if you took away Steve Bannon, there's not a lot. Like Trump's got the 2028 hats more to troll the Democrats. Nobody else is really saying it but Steve Bannon, and people think this is just his way to stay in the limelight and get attention. I don't know.
Right. Well, somebody asked him, I think it was today or yesterday, they asked him about running as a vice president.
And he said he could do. Trump said he could do it, but it might be a little too cute. He doesn't think
A
the
little
voters
too
would like
cute.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, if he decides to try and do it, and which they asked Mike Johnson this morning, and Mike Johnson actually was kind of firm and said, the Constitution says only 2 terms, so I don't see any path for him to do it. So that's the only time Mike Johnson has kind of stood up to Trump. So I appreciate that. Now I'm sure if he gets
Mike.
Yeah, if he gets a call from Trump, he's going to change his tune on that. But right now, he kind of said it can't happen. So anyhow, and then we're not even talking shutdown because nobody gives a shit. But like the shutdowns at I don't know, day 28 or so. The record is 35 days, which I think we're easily going to pass. The key thing is that on November 1st, SNAP benefits, which is like food stamps, basically. Now. This is weird because apparently on September 30th, the program that runs SNAP and WIC and all these other programs came up with a plan. They have unused funds, billions of dollars of unused funds, and they made a plan and they put it on the government website that in the event of a shutdown, we can tap these unused funds, blah, blah, blah. About 3 days ago, the Trump administration deleted that page off the internet and said, no, we're not allowed to use those unused funds. And it's like, no, that was your administration put that plan out. They're trying to do it because they think that this will make the Democrats cave because Democrats have compassion, I guess. I think they might be right. I mean, I think once people start losing their food stamps, it's going to become like
the majority of Americans blame the Republicans for.
Yeah, and it's a little closer than I want it to be. But yes, right now the majority blame Republicans, but it's not. And even like the polling is so weird recently. Trump is at his lowest mark ever. He's even lower than he was in his first term. He's negative 18 points or so. But I still look at it and I'm like, who are the 32% of Americans that think this is going well? But I'll tell you right now, I know several of them. Like I still have a lot of friends that are like, yeah, things are going pretty good. I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, cool. Like we got this. Anyhow,
these people won't pay attention.
Yeah.
They might watch Fox News, but
I think honestly, I think that everybody's getting their info from Facebook and Twitter and TikTok now. Like in TikTok, I don't even want to go down this road, but I've been seeing all kinds of stuff. Like TikTok is censoring all kinds of content. Crystal from Breaking Points showed her her homepage of TikTok, and all of them say limited visibility or something along those lines. And she's like, this video, I said the word APAC. I didn't even say anything bad about APAC. I just said the word APAC, and they limited the visibility on it. And so every one of her videos is limited. Apparently, the new censors at TikTok are going to be very pro-Trump. So awesome. We got Twitter. I hate to say it. I don't like Elon. Twitter is still the only place that you can truly say whatever and not get, shadow banned or whatever they call it. It appears. So for now. Yeah. Anyhow, the only other thing that happened in the news today. Oh, sorry. Last thing on pardons. The Supreme Court is set to hear the case on pardons in the next week or two, and then we'll have a ruling on it within a month or two after that. So there's apparently from all the articles, I don't know if this is true, a lot of Senate Republicans are quietly crossing their fingers and hoping that the Supreme Court bails them out of this because they don't want to have to vote against Trump on the tariffs, but they don't like the tariffs. They don't want the tariffs. So they're hoping the Supreme Court saves their ass. I think it's 50-50.
Though they're voting on tariffs?
The Supreme Court is going to rule on whether or not Trump has the power to do this by himself or if he needs to get the House and the Senate to vote on it. Because the Constitution is very clear. Tariffs are a tax. Taxes can only be enacted by Congress. The president cannot unilaterally tax American people. That's taxation without representation, which is why we got into a war and left England in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you just look at the Constitution, Trump should easily lose this case. Problem is, the Supreme Court is 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats, and those 6 Republicans seem very willing to do what Trump wants. So maybe they'll prove me wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, real quick, today, I think it was a House GOP. I don't remember what committee it was. It's the one led by Comer. But they put out their final report on Biden's auto pen scandal. If you don't watch Fox News, you probably don't know anything about this, but Fox News has been covering the hell out of it. The auto pen scandal has been going on since January, and they finally put out their report, and they have concluded that all of the pardons that Biden did are void. They don't count. Now, I think this is people were kind of flipping out today. I'm like, oh, they can't do that. He pardoned him. I don't think that if this ever gets challenged in a court, I don't think it'll hold up at all. I think it's more for show than anything else. On the other hand, I kind of like this. I'm not going to lie. I sneakily like this because back in it was like 2014, Obama wanted to get judges confirmed. The Senate just said we're not confirming anybody, and then that's when that the Senate was controlled by Democrats, and they basically did the nuclear option, got rid of the filibuster for the purpose of appointing judges, and made it to where 50 votes is all you need to get a judge through. That ended up biting them in the ass 2 years later when Trump came into power because they'd gotten rid of that. And there's elected officials always fail to see the future and how this might come back to bite them in the ass. And there's several examples of this. I think the pardon one is an interesting one because we've said for a while that there's a lot of people under Trump right now that are doing things that they could end up in jail for, except Trump's going to pardon them all on the way out the door, right?
Sure.
What if we make it the precedent that the next, whoever's in power next can just void the pardons? Nope, we decided that Trump was lacking mental acuity at the point, so all those pardons are void. We can now prosecute Stephen Miller.
Yes. Let's prosecute Stephen Miller.
I'm kind of also. I gotta say, I think we need to do some pardon reform in this country. I don't fully understand why the president can just decide that people don't get to be charged with stuff like that. Kind of doesn't make sense. Nobody's above the law. The president can just pick and choose, and every president does weird pardons. President Clinton pardoned his brother or brother-in-law. I can't remember which one. George W. Bush pardoned a whole bunch of people that did very corrupt shit in his administration, and he just pardoned them all. Obama, I'm sure Obama had some corrupt ones, but all I can really remember is that he pardoned a whole bunch of like nonviolent drug offenders and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at the point where I don't want to see any more pardons.
Yeah, I think the pardon thing is a little overreaching.
Yeah,
I mean, the reason Biden pardoned so many people was because he knew that Trump was going to go after him for frivolous things, which he is. That's what he wants to do. So.
Well, like I said, I say we let this stand. We let this become precedent. Well, that means we might Fauci might go to jail, or here's the thing. I don't think any of these people are going to go to jail. I think they'll get charged and they'll have to spend a lot of money on lawyers, but nothing will ever happen with it. Kind of like what's going to happen with Comey. There's no way Comey's going to get found guilty of anything, but
he's going to have to. He's basically going to go bankrupt paying for lawyers.
Exactly. I say let it stand. Let this be the new precedent. You can pardon whoever you want, but then the next party that comes into power can void those pardons. Let's do it. I want to see Stephen Miller go to trial.
Yeah. I want everybody to go to trial if they've done something illegal.
Yeah, agreed.
On the pardon note, on criminals going to jail note, did you see that Trump is trying to get the DOJ to pay him? I think it's $150 million.
$230 million.
230. Okay.
That, of all the corrupt things, and I thought we had talked about this before, but maybe we didn't.
I don't think we have.
Of all the corrupt things, so both of these started before he was president. One of them is for the Russia investigation, which he keeps saying the Democrats did that to him. That was his attorney general was Jeff Sessions. When all the Russia stuff first came up, Jeff Sessions was involved in the campaign, and a lot of people said he needed to recuse himself, so he did. He recused himself, handed it over to his deputy attorney general, Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein said, hey, I better play this by the book, and he brought in a special counsel. Robert Mueller was a special counsel who was a Republican, former head of the FBI. Republicans at the time were like, yep, Robert Mueller's a stand-up guy. This is great. And so that's $100 million of it is from the Russia investigation that the Democrats did to him, even though it was Republicans that did that to him. Either way,
it cost Trump $100 million in lawyer fees or what?
So no, I think this is total damages. Now, also, he didn't pay for any of his legal fees. He made the RNC pay for it, the Republican National Committee. So he didn't even go out of pocket on anything, but he wants this money. So $100 million from Russia, and then from Russia Gate, and then $130 million because of the Mar-a-Lago raid, where they raided Mar-a-Lago and they searched and they found all the documents.
The documents that he wasn't supposed to have, and
it appears he's very guilty of, but he immediately, it's a Trump tactic. As soon as that happened, he was like, I'm countersuing the government. So he's suing them for $130 million. Now, the way these cases normally go is the government almost all the time looks at this and goes, we're not paying this. And they reject the claim. And then the person can take it to court. And then sometimes there's a settlement, whatever happens. The largest one in recent history, there was a guy in California that served 38 years in prison. Turns out the prosecutors that prosecuted him 38 years ago had evidence that would have proven that he was innocent, basically, and they didn't bring that evidence to trial. Whoa. They sat on it. Like he totally got wrongfully convicted on this.
Could you imagine
Yep. So, somehow that got found out. I don't know all the details of that case, but and it's part of like the judge reads this to everybody at the beginning of each trial, but like you can't do that. Like if you're the prosecution and you have exculpatory evidence, I think is what it's called, like you have to show that. They didn't. This guy got $25 million from the Department of Justice for being wrongfully imprisoned for 38 years. Okay. I have no problem with that. But he was wrongfully
I do. I guarantee you he would rather have those 38 years back than the $25 million.
I agree with you there. I'm just saying, as far as our government giving him 25 million, yeah, give him more. Like he got screwed. Okay. Yeah. Trump had his property raided and he feels like that's worth 130 million. What's very interesting about this is the person that would get to approve or deny these is his deputy attorney general, Todd Blanche, who was his lawyer for the Mar-a-Lago raid. So for the stolen documents case, that was his lawyer, and now that guy's the deputy attorney general. That guy stands to gain money out of this. If Trump gets this, his lawyer gets a percentage of that. Sure. So he is for sure going to approve it.
Trump said he's going to donate it to a charity. Do you think he would really donate it to charity?
Or he might donate to like his or one of, actually, I was going to say one of his kids' charities, but I always forget none of them are allowed to legally have anything to do with a charity because they were apparently ripping off their own charity and using it for their personal piggy bank, basically. So yeah, I'm sure he might like show like, look, I donated to charity, but it'll be to one of his friends' charity. Somehow he'll benefit from it.
Sure,
I guarantee that. But that's I'm almost done being upset about that because it's for sure going to happen. Like there's no way. And there's been several Republicans in the House and the Senate that have come out and said he shouldn't do this. Like the optics are really bad. We're in the middle of a shutdown. People can't afford health care and groceries. Like this is the wrong time for the president to be getting a $230 million paycheck from the government, but he's going to do it. So yeah. We got lucky they even found out about that. Like I have a feeling if he could have kept that all under the table and we never learned about it, he would have. Somehow good reporters found out that was going on. So
yeah, he's definitely going to get it. He's going to get that money and he's going to probably just pocket it.
He is. Oh God, it's scary. Anyhow, the last thing I have, and the next time we talk, I think we should both do some homework on this because I don't have enough to really talk about it. But do you know who Kristen Sinema is? Do you know that name?
Yep.
So she was a Democrat senator from, I believe, Arizona. And during Biden's term, there were two senators that kept thwarting all of his plans. And it was Sinema and Joe Manchin. And stuff like the Build Back Better and all the things he wanted to do, they kept saying, nope, sorry, not going to let it happen. And eventually she got primaried. I think it was Ruben Gallego in Arizona primaried her and won. Most of the Democrats in Arizona were very pissed at her. It turned out, reporting was saying that she had very wealthy donors that were basically not going to let her vote yes on a lot of this stuff. She was doing what her wealthy donors wanted her to do.
That is criminal, man. We should not be listening to the donors. You listen to your constituents, your people.
Yes. So she left after losing the primary and immediately went to work for her wealthy donors. She's basically a lobbyist. I don't think she's officially a lobbyist, but she's pretty much a lobbyist. Right now, one of the groups she's working for are these AI data centers. The ones that are coming into communities all around and driving up people's electricity costs. I think I've seen on average in the past year, electricity costs have gone up 10% on average. And then there's certain communities where it's gone up way more than that. Communities where data centers are getting built. I will say I hate my Republican governor of Oklahoma, but he is very against these data centers, and it's the one thing where I'm like, thank you, like good job. Okay. Like he does not want them here. Kristen Sinema is lobbying on behalf of the AI data centers to a city council in, I think, Arizona in this video. I just want you to hear this and give me your thoughts. This is very interesting.
I'm here tonight on behalf of Active Infrastructure. I also am the founder and co-chair of a national coalition called the AI Infrastructure Coalition. We are a national coalition formed earlier this year and work hand in glove with the Trump administration as we prepare for AI American dominance to prepare against a competing threat from China, but also to ensure that domestically that we are prepared for the AI revolution that is coming. The AI action plan set out by the Trump administration says very clearly that we must continue to proliferate AI and AI data centers throughout the country. So federal preemption is coming. Chandler right now has the opportunity to determine how and when these new innovative AI data centers will be built. When federal preemption comes, will no longer have that privilege. They will just occur, and they will occur in the manner in which they want to occur.
Did you catch at the end there where she said, right now you have a choice. You kind of have a choice of how this is going to happen. And if
Yeah.
you say no, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen the way the Trump administration wants it to happen. You're not going to have
Yeah.
a choice. That's a thinly veiled threat right there at a city council meeting. Either you approve this or we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I don't like her a lot. And after watching that video, I'm just like, oh, that evil bitch. Like I
Oh
can't
my
help myself.
gosh.
So
Yeah, I mean, and that's just how the Trump administration is, right? We're just gonna do what we want. We're gonna steamroll through everything, and yeah,
she said she's working hand in glove with the Trump administration.
I thought she was a Democrat.
She's not. Anyhow, so the rise of the data centers and the inevitable rise of our utility costs because of that, and then just AI in general. I don't know if you saw, but today Amazon laid off 14,000 workers this morning, and it's supposed to be, according to reports, it's going to be 30,000 total over like the next week. Right now, it's just 14,000. UPS laid off 48,000. There's
Wow.
I've seen a lot of tweets on all the different companies that have laid off people, but it's
UPS or USPS?
I think it was UPS.
Oh wow.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, I mean, things are getting crazy. Um, I keep just watching these things about like the AI bubble, and you've got all these talking heads saying that like we're in a bubble, this AI bubble is going to burst, the housing market's going to burst, and it's all going to happen at one time.
And
But
that's
then you have these right-wing talking heads saying that it's all fine, everything's good. We got so much more growth to have, and I just don't see AI. Like, yes, AI is going to integrate into our lives and it's probably going to stifle our job market, but I don't see how that's good for the American people at all.
So it's not just to solve that for you.
Yeah.
But then I saw a deal. If you take out, like, there's the seven big AI plays in America right now. If you take those out of our GDP is 0.1% so far this year. If you take out Nvidia and Meta and ChatGPT and all those different ones. So we got that going for us. So it's all propping up our economy right now. And eventually there's going to be one winner and the rest are going to crash. And when that happens, that's going to cause a huge drop in the stock market. So, real quick, layoffs since April: Amazon 30,000, Intel 25,000, Microsoft 15,000, Meta 3,600, Target 1,800, Charter 1,200, Paramount 1,000, Rivian 600, and XAI 500. It's a good thing, and I think right now they're timing these layoffs with the government shutdown because right now we can't get jobs data. Normally we'd be getting monthly jobs data to see how many jobs were lost. We're
Oh,
not. So I think these companies might be kind of in cahoots with the Trump administration and laying people off right now as much as they can. And then by the time the government reopens, they'll be like, all right, never mind those other months. Let's just move forward to the next months, and we'll never find out what the job data was for the month or two that the government was closed down.
how many U.S. employees have or government employees have been laid off in 2025?
I
Oh,
So I don't know, but I did see a ruling today where a judge said that Trump can't do the shutdown layoffs that he's wanting to do. Now that's going to get appealed, and it's far from over. But right now, she said no more firing people while the shutdown's going on.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Also, hey, a quick update on Portland. Like a week ago, a judge said that he can send the National Guard into Portland, and then today, the entire 9-judge panel decided they're all going to hear the case, all 9 of them, and they put back on the restraining order saying he cannot send the troops in. They're going to hear the case together and then rule. It's looking good that they're going to say no, he cannot send the National Guard in.
I haven't seen anything on Portland or Chicago in a little bit.
It's still happening just like it was 2 weeks ago. The media just moved on. Like it's pretty ridiculous. There is a guy, God, I wish I could remember his name. He's the head of Border Patrol in Chicago, and he is the most Nazi looking dude you'll ever see in your life. And he had to go in front of a judge today because she had to order him not to use tear gas anymore to disperse crowds. And then there's a video of him personally tossing a canister of tear gas into a crowd. So she said he needs to come back in every day for the next 2 weeks
Oh,
and give a status report. What happened today? Did you have to use tear gas? Why did you use tear gas? And she wants basically he's got to report to her. Hold
wow.
on.
Oh
This
my
guy, I can't remember his name to save my life.
God. Oh, he does look like a Nazi.
You find what's his name?
Border Patrol official Bovino.
Yeah, Bavino. Uh, he
Gregory Bovino.
the way he carries himself, like all the videos of him, and he walks with like armed people on all sides of him. He's a very he's like a bad guy out of a movie. Like if you, I'll pull some clips for this guy for next time. But yeah, everything about him is just comically funny, like evil bad guy. Yeah,
We're in crazy times, Andy. What are we gonna do?
Greg Bavino is his name. Yeah, everything's fine. We're still good.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
We have an impending war with Venezuela. We're waiting. We're waiting for the bottom to drop out of the economy. Everybody's health care is about to skyrocket, and if you're on any form of food stamps or government assistance, that's all drying up in 3 days. But Halloween's coming up, and that's always a fun night. So
that is good. That is
what are you
good.
going to be for Halloween this year?
I don't have a costume.
Ah, yeah, you don't have.
You were an
kids.
ICE agent.
Hey, there's no need to talk about that. I had to go to a party where I had to dress up, and I didn't have many options. So I was looking in my closet, and I was like, "What could I pull off here without spending any money?" An ICE agent is something you could easily pull off. All you need is like tactical looking clothes and a buff, like a neck gaiter, a face mask, and I had those. So I bought a $4 badge on Amazon, and the costume was complete. It worked out pretty well.
Nice.
Anyhow, all right, I got nothing else for tonight. You got anything?
I think I'm good. Yeah, man.
All right. We'll talk again this weekend, brother.
Later, dude.
Later.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.